Hey, what's up, good people? How you doing? Welcome back to Stock Up with Larry Jones. Listen, I'm just gonna touch on Nvidia, which will be reporting at closing bell, and then the debt ceiling talks, which um, we have a promise that they won't default, but the talks have fallen off the rails. But hey, just remember that this is brought to you by Stock Up University. It will be the top link below. Learn more, earn more. Listen, let's go right into Nvidia, right? Nvidia will be reporting at closing bell, so I'm going to try to get this one up a little earlier. As we could see, Nvidia is 2% down and about 1.5%, 1.4% for the week, but today it is down. Why is Nvidia down? Nvidia is important. I believe that right now, with all of this talk about AI, I believe that Apple and Nvidia are two of the most important stock in the stock market right now as it pertains to where this market is heading. I believe that Nvidia, stocks like Nvidia and Apple have been helping to keep the broader stock market up, I do believe, because it is fueled, these two are fueled by AI. Now, a lot of companies talk about AI and, how it's going to integrate with their businesses, but Nvidia is a true AI leader. And a lot of people are trying to figure out, analysts are trying to figure out, will it be a bounce? There could be a 6 to 8% bounce if earnings come in strong after closing bell. But there also could be a 6 to 8% drop if the earnings are not good. Now, one of the things I would like to do is to go into where some of the other AI plays, or some of the other chip plays, should I say, have been performing. Now, here I'm year to date, and as you can see, I have AMD and Intel, Micron, those other ones. As you could see here, 67% advanced Micron is up, right? AMD is up 67%, which is which is good. AMD, all right. I'm sorry, 67% up. This is year to date. Micron is up 30% year to date. But look at Nvidia. The question is this too much? 109% year to date, is that too much? And a lot would say yes. A lot would say yes, but we won't know until after closing bell. Right now, it doesn't matter where you stand. If you think they're going to kill it, or if you think they are all ready too frothy and it's all negative from now because of previous earnings in this sector have not been good, right? But as we could see, even though they weren't good, they still have bounced off of their lows. Look at this. This is May 9th, and they all started to cool off about the same time. So we will see in a few hours what's going on with Nvidia. All right. Now, let's go to what Speaker McCarthy just said about the talks on the debt ceiling. And you could clearly see talks have fallen off the rails, but he has a promise that they will not default. The reason why the stock market is down today, and it was down yesterday, because he says one thing when he comes out of the office on one day, and then another day when he comes out of the office talking to President Biden, he says another. And it's very confusing. Now, here is his point of view.
Even Speaker, about ways that we could work together on a debt ceiling. Hakeem told me he was going to follow the president's lead. I went down to meet with the president right after becoming Speaker, as you all know, on February 1st. I said, let's sit down, let's work together. The Democrats, they could have lifted the debt ceiling prior to me becoming Speaker. They knew the outcome of the election already. They knew we were taking power. They passed an omnibus bill, but they decided not to do the rising of the debt ceiling, even though they thought people should just raise it cleanly. Speaking with the president, I told him two things. We'll not raise taxes. Why? Because we got more revenue coming in to our coffers at any time in American history. The problem is the Democrats had been in power and they increased the amount of spending to the highest level we've ever had at any time in American history, especially to GDP. And now we have the highest debt at any time to American history. So I just think it's common sense, it's reasonable, and it's rational that we spend less next year than we spend this year. Every household would do this. We have money that sits out there, COVID, that's been appropriate that hasn't been used. We now know the damage that the Democrats have done in the majority when they spent that extra $6 trillion. It brought us inflation, harming every single family, made us more dependent upon China. It created 3 of the largest 4 bank failures in American history in the last couple months. We cannot continue down this path. But the president waited 97 days, not even to talk to me. He could have spoken to me and said we were wrong on other angles, but he didn't.
Okay, let me say this. The day that this is over, on the 1st, you and I will forget about it. This is still a looming problem. And he's right. Why wait until now? But the Republicans and the Democrats will move on to the next thing and they won't deal with this the other 364 days a year. And they wait every single time. And they both are guilty of doing the same thing. Let's continue.
And now we're 8 days away from Biden having default. I don't want that to happen. That's why the Republicans in the House in April lifted the debt ceiling with common sense, sensible things. They're pulling the COVID money back. Work requirements, they let people go back to work, help our supply chain, make us less dependent on China. And more importantly, people working, then they're paying into Social Security and Medicare, making those two entities stronger. And then making us stronger in our energy field where we're cutting the red tape, where we could build things in America again, putting people back to work. That's reasonable, that's rational. But it sits in the Senate. But if the president waits too long, he can always take that up.
You said
Yes.
finish the negotiations. Has there been appreciable progress over the last?
Look,
24
there's
hours?
differences. We know where it's at. You have to spend less than you spent last year. That's not that difficult to do. But in Washington, somehow, that is a problem. They have increased spending with the Democrats in the majority on discretionary spending by more than 33%. No household's been able to afford to do that. We can find waste. We can eliminate that. The president eliminated a lot of places that we can't talk about, so I got a short area to do it, but we found a reasonable way to do it. So it's not that, look, I think we can make progress today. I'm hoping that we can make progress.
Mr. Speaker, what do you say to those who believe you can't get to yes because so many members of your conference won't accept anything less than the bill you've already passed?
They're wrong. You underestimated me the whole time. The one thing you should learn from me, I will never give up for the American people. Those are the people I'm looking at. Can we get to yes? Yes. We passed a bill.
With no Democrats. You need a bipartisan bill now. Can you get to yes on a deal that will take Democrats?
Thank you, because you just identified the problem. No Democrats. So every Democrat voted against raising the debt ceiling. Nothing has happened in the Senate. I'm not a senator. I don't control the Senate. Why didn't they pass something? The president, he didn't talk to us for 97 days. So don't blame me for reaching out to the Democrats, for begging the president to meet with me.
He said the president didn't talk to him for 97 days, right? Okay, he has all of the points he was saying about the debt. I 100% agree. But the problem is there's more than 97 days in a year. And we keep doing this since World War II. We've been here 100 times, literally. And the problem just keeps getting kicked down the road. As you could see, he talks more about the Democrats and the Democrats talk more about the Republicans. And the fact is that you and I are going to pay. Now, all of the points he made about the debt are logical points. As a matter of fact, 60% of Americans polled say, what is that? 60% of Americans feel like the debt ceiling should only be raised after you have found savings. You and I, we agree with that. But the political theater is all a part of, look at what they're doing. Look at what they're doing. Now, both sides are going to bring some valuable points, though he's bringing up very valuable points that you have to take a look at regardless of your political party, because look at the stock market right now. For those of you that think that this is too political, look at your 401ks, look at what's happening to the stock market over the last couple of days, and then you will see why we need to do something about this problem. Let's just wrap up a few more seconds of this.
We're trying to find it. And don't blame us, Republicans, when we put a reasonable bill together that we actually took Democrats' ideas. So when we put spending for government and increase it 1% each year to cap it, so the slow of growth of government, so the economy can catch up, that was a Democrat idea. When we put work requirements in to help people get a job, that's something Senator Biden voted for and President Clinton signed into law. That was a Democrat supported idea too. So it's not my fault that the Democrats today have become so extreme, so far to the socialist wing, that they are now opposed to work requirements, that they are now opposed to saving $1 less than you spent the year before. That to me really seems that the problem are the Democrats.
So the problem is not just the Democrats. The problem is not just the Republicans. The problem is politics over people, period. Now, he raised a lot of good points, but don't get it twisted. The problem is extremes to both sides, right? And there is no reason why we have to wait until we get a pink slip, you and I, or whatever whatever color it is now when you pay your bills late. I haven't had one in a while. I haven't had one since the 80s. But you know how you get that tardy slip on your energy bills? Why do we have to wait to get that slip every single month to pay our bills when we know that they're coming? Now, this bill, this raising a debt ceiling, is much deeper than what it sounds, okay? Because I believe that it has the wrong, they name it the wrong thing, right? Because we got vets that need to be paid, Social Security that needs to be paid, of course, government workers that need to be paid. The government is way too big and they need to cut somewhere there. I do agree. But the problem is this political pandering and waiting until we get a late slip to address this. Watch right after next month on the 1st, and they either, like I said, that they probably do, just kick it down the road, just prolong it, don't fix it, just prolong it, right? Because the talks, they will never come to an agreement, but they'll both look bad if we lose our credit rating again, or if it seems like we're going into a default. Now, we will not default. We never have, never will, because at that point, you and I will get outraged and let them both have it. And some people think we should. Okay, I'm going to leave it right there, good people. Listen, make sure you check out the class, top link below. Learn the market the right way and make more money. My name is Stock Up with Larry Jones. Come join the family by hitting that like, subscribe, notification bell. All right. So let's see what's going to happen by the 1st of next month, and let's see what's going to happen after closing bell with Nvidia. Let me know if you guys are in the Nvidia play. We'll see you later. Live, love, laugh, and learn.